All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, very rarely will you see an NBA team fire their head coach with the regular season winding down and they are in playoff contention. But that is what the Memphis Grizzlies decided to do this past Friday as they let go of head coach Taylor Jenkins. Now, at the time of Jenkins's firing, the Grizzlies were 44 and 39 as they were tied with the Los Angeles Lakers for fourth place in the Western Conference. The timing of the firing appeared to be extremely odd, and it was odd, okay, because we're talking about at that point the Grizzlies had 9 games left in their regular season, now eight, and the NBA playoffs are right around the corner. And the Grizzlies are going to be in the postseason, whether it's the play-in tournament or the top six, but nonetheless, they're going to be playing some important games. And the Grizzlies' front office, however, felt that the timing of this was right. So if you look at it and you peel back the surface on this, the writing was on the wall from last summer when the Grizzlies front office, that is, decided to fire five of Jenkins's assistant coaches and install a new offense. And it's never a good sign, okay, when the front office is handpicking a staff for a head coach. Okay, neither Jenkins or All-Star guard John Morant were fans of this new system, and not only that, the Grizzlies front office parted with some of the assistant head coaches who were the closest to one John Morant. And my question is this what championship organizations do? And the answer is no. Because if you wanted to go out there, if you're the Grizzlies, and make these changes to Taylor Jenkins's staff, you should have just let Taylor Jenkins go because it's never a good look when you start to tinker with the sauce. And I say tinker with the sauce in this aspect as far as a coach's staff. Those were his people, okay? And you let him go after a 55 loss season last year, okay? But you got to peel back the surface and look at the fact that say, hey, you didn't have your best player in Ja Morant for the bulk of that season, whether it's suspensions or injuries, whatever. He wasn't there. Memphis was missing a lot of their key players last season, and we all expected the Grizzlies to bounce back this season, which they have basically done. Now, with that said, I know that Memphis has not been a great defensive team this year. Okay, they lost five out of the last seven when Taylor Jenkins was still the head coach, and now six out of their last eight altogether. Their defensive struggles continued. They gave up 134 points this past Saturday night at home to the Lakers, 125 Thursday night in their 21-point loss to OKC, 128 the previous Friday to the Clippers, and 132 on St. Patty's Day to Sacramento. But nonetheless, again, you're looking at Taylor Jenkins, one of the winningest coaches in franchise history. He got him three straight playoff appearances. You still got to give him the benefit of the doubt for last year. Okay. And again, if you wanted to let Taylor Jenkins go, you should have done it last summer if you're Memphis. Um, when you let go of all of his assistant coaches and just start over fresh. Okay. But I think now at this point of the season, it's not a good look. You're tinkering with the sauce. And by the looks of things from this past Saturday night, if you think that this is going to ignite a spark under this team, I don't think so. Okay, you're looking at the Grizzlies right now. They're a game ahead of Golden State for the sixth spot, and that's important because you want to try to stay out of that play-in. But you look at it, 7 and 8 are right there in the standings. I'm talking about the Timberwolves and I'm talking about the Clippers. And then you look at Memphis's schedule to finish the regular season. It's not easy. They got Boston at home tonight. Then they host Golden State tomorrow night. They're at Miami, who's playing better. They're at Detroit, who's playing better. You still got a game with the Timberwolves, and you still got the Nuggets on the road before the season ends. So there's a possibility that Memphis could fall down into the play-in tournament. Okay, it's one of those where, again, not trying to sound like a broken record, but you don't make these moves this late in the season, in my opinion, if you're a contender. Now, if Memphis was 29 and 44 at the time of Jenkins' firing, as opposed to 44 and 29, I got no problem with this. Okay, because then you can say, hey, we're looking for our new coach of the future. I totally get it. But again, this is something that good organizations don't do. And now, of course, the onus is on interim head coach Tomas Izalo, okay, to try to right the ship for Memphis, but easier said than done. We've already seen one questionable move by a general manager during the second half of this NBA season. And of course, that was Nico Harrison and the Dallas Mavericks trading Luka Doncic to the Lakers. Now you can put general manager Zach Kleiman for the Grizzlies into that category as well. And for my money, this is where I really feel these teams all across sports need to stop hiring these fanboys to lead their front offices because you look at Kleiman, does not have a sports background, was an intern for an organization, basically has a law degree. Okay. And now you have him leading this organization. And typically, when things like that happen, it's a recipe for disaster. You need sports people to go out there and lead your organizations. So I'm looking at this, and I don't think good things are going to come from this if you are the Memphis Grizzlies. You basically have an offense that your best player doesn't like. And your best player's injured has been injured. Okay. Then on top of that, when Jenkins first got there, Memphis's identity was defense. That's no longer the case. I mean, you've gotten rid of some of those key defensive players, a la a Dylan Brooks, who gave you that mentality, who gave you that mindset. So again, that's not on Taylor Jenkins. That is on the front office, Zach Kleiman and company, who are going out there and making these decisions. Like I said, I think this is a recipe for disaster if you are Memphis, in my opinion. You have tinkered with the sauce. You've like destroyed this team's momentum, in my opinion. And whoever has to face the Grizzlies, whether it's going to be in the play-in or the first round of the NBA playoffs, guess what? I'm licking my chops right now because this team, in my opinion, due to their front office, has basically thrown in the towel for the postseason. Bad decision, in my opinion, to if you're Memphis to move on from Taylor Jenkins. If you wanted to do it in the offseason, fine. If you wanted to do it last offseason, fine. But now, late March, stretch run time, teams are getting ready for the playoffs. This is a move that you simply do not make. But, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. And I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Also, if you are on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. Also, there's a sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.